What's up everybody, AJ here, back again with another video. And yes, you read the title of this video correctly, where I met Aya Hirano for being the voice of Haruhi Suzumiya at Animangaki. So, originally I had no intention of going to Animangaki at first, because I've attended such events ever since 2012 until 2018. Then COVID happened. Something around 2020. I didn't attend the one in 2019, by the way. Then COVID happened in 2020, and they decided to do an online Animangaki, which I didn't bother to be very frank. Then in 2022, I did went there for 2 straight years. But it was around that time I realized that it's pretty much the same thing every year with different guests. And the amount of familiar faces that I met over there were getting less and less because of personal reasons. They have moved on with their lives, yada yada yada. But anyway, for this year's Animangaki 2025, it just so happened that the guests that came over are ChouCho, who is known for performing the theme song for Hyoka, Curse and Panzer, and Fake Clay Lina Prisma Ilya, Radio, who is known for performing the theme song for Death Parade. And to be completely honest, I wasn't sold on them coming over when these two artists were announced. I'm gonna be a part of me do want to hear ChouCho perform Hyoka's Unbuilding theme live with my very own eyes, but still that didn't really convince me on coming over to this year's Animangaki. Up until on the first day of August, which is 3 weeks before the event itself, Animangaki has announced Aya Hirano, known for being the voice of Haruhi Suzumiya, Izumi Konata from Lucky Star, and Lucy Hatfilia from Fairy Tail, and of course there are a few other notable roles as well, as the final special guest for Animangaki 2025. And it was at that moment that I said to myself that I have to be there. Whether I like it or not, I have to be there. Because Aya Hirano is a pretty big deal to me at the very least. Like, come on man. This is the voice actress who voices Haruhi Suzumiya, okay? Of course I had to be there. And also another thing is that originally I wanted to make this video a vlog, but after reviewing the footage that I took at the event, and considering the fact that how I spent my time at the event, as a matter of fact, I think it's best that I talk about the event right over here instead of making a video, instead of making a vlog instead. So let's start things off with day 1. As you can see, there's quite a lot of people, but compared to day 2 and day 3, it's not that many, to be very frank. And of course there's Itasha being displayed, as you can see right over here. And then there's this one section they were playing this the same thing that in Squid Game. This is day 1 by the way. So this is the insides of the event. As you can see there, they are promoting the new Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba movie, which will be available in cinemas. Actually, I believe it's already in cinemas, right? Because I saw that, yeah, it's this August. Excuse the shaky camera, by the way, but yeah, this is pretty much the exhibitors booth on day 1. When I enter inside, right, there's not that many people, to be very freaking honest. Let me just skip forward a little bit. And this section right here is the food section. They had the food section ever since 2022, which, to be very honest, it's really much more convenient compared to before COVID, where we had to exit the entire hall and we have to head over to the mall to have our lunch, our meal, and whatsoever. So I'm kind of glad that the Animangaki has started bringing in food vendors into the event itself, which is kind of nice. Instead of we have to go out of the mall, find the whatever restaurant is available at the mall, and then come back to the event, which is kind of a hassle to be very frank. And of course, there's more Itashas you can see right over here. And by the way, earlier on, right, this over here is the side stage where I believe they were conducting some other interviews and talks, where I believe it was at day one they were having this pet cosplay competition. Then they have some random play dancing session, as a matter of fact, which I was unable to record, unfortunately. So I think that's pretty much what's going on over here at the side stage. And then of course there's the exhibition booth where they most likely sell figurines and stuff. As you can see right over here, there were some JoJo figurines, and then over here is pretty much more, you want to see more anime related Itasha and motorcycles. It's right over here at this section. And then if you notice at the right hand, as I keep going right, there's a VTuber alley right over here. I'm assuming these are the local VTubers that are being shown right over here right now. And of course they have a VTuber stage as well, as a matter of fact. And if you notice right, some of the VTubers model were censored, if you notice, because they have to make it a family. This is technically a family friendly event, so it's understandable that they have to censor the female private parts, even though it's a VTuber model. And then I continue exploring day one. As you can see, this is the FGC side of the booth. And yes, they did have other games like Street Fighter 6 and Tekken 8 and whatnot, which I will show you guys later on. And as a matter of fact, right, they did have a Tekken 8 and Street Fighter 6 tournament as well, as a matter of fact. But I only have the footage of the Tekken 8 tournament, which I will show you guys later on. So this is practically the FGC booth, which are being handled by Insert Coin. And this is how the main stage looks like. And they literally said that for the first time in 17 years, if you notice right, back then they didn't have a live feed on the side of the freaking screen, but this year they decided to put in live feed instead, just like how bigger concerts does it, where they have the live feed at the side of the freaking screen. For the first time in ever since the very first Animangaki, they have decided to put in live feed, which is the two screens at the side, for the first time instead, which is kind of nice, to be very honest. But at the same time, right, I kind of wish that they did this live feed thing way earlier, to be very honest. But still, I kind of glad that they did it, and better late than never, I suppose. And then more Itashas, and I believe this is where I started exploring the artist booth. So I pretty much spent almost the entire day exploring the entire area of Animangaki, the exhibition booth, the VTuber alley booth, which is a small section, and then I spent quite a number of my time exploring the artist alley booth. And I'm going to be completely honest with you, the best time to explore these booths are on day 1, because on day 2 and day 3 is gonna be a tons load of people. So this is how the exhibitable booth looks like, and you notice like there's not that many people, to be very frank. It's not that many people. It's on a Friday, and if you notice right, that's the food vendor booth, where I think I shot this sometime around lunch hour time, which is why there's a lot of people gathering over there. But still, I gotta say, it's kind of convenient that Animangaki has decided to bring in food vendors into the event itself, instead of people having to go out of the event and then find whatever restaurant is available in the mall and then come back again, which I find it quite a hassle, to be very frank. So like I said, it's really nice for them to bring in some food vendors into the event itself instead. And of course, the event has a cosplay area as well, and it's kind of nice that the hall has two separate floors, where the ground floor is mostly the exhibitor booth, the artist alley and whatnot, while upstairs is mostly the cosplay booth, which is kind of nice because there's gonna be, as you see in this footage right here, there's literally a lot of people getting around at the cosplay booth. So it's kind of nice that the hall itself has two separate floors to control the traffic flow, which is kind of nice. And but seriously, oh my goodness gracious, it's only day one and yet there's a lot of people gathering around like at the cosplay booth, like holy moly. And it's kind of nice that they have this arcade section right over here as well. As you can see, they have this the drum arcade game. I forgot what's the name of this arcade game. Comment down below. And as you can see, they have Wangan Midnight over there as well, which is kind of nice. But I personally prefer Initial D, to be very freaking honest. But then again, over here, Wangan Midnight is way more popular than Initial D from the way I see it. But still, it's very nice that they have this one small arcade section over here, because arcades in general has been declining ever since post-COVID, to the extent that even some of the arcades in Japan, literally shut down, mainly because of the side effects of COVID. And not just arcades, man. Some of the cyber cafes throughout over here in Malaysia, quite a number of them has already closed down due to the side effects of COVID. So I'm glad to see that there are still some arcade business still alive and kicking in. And it is pretty much how the main stage looks like from the top view. And that's the other side of the exhibitor's booth. And then this is the Studio Orange booth, where they are mostly in charge. They're known for doing the anime adaptation of Trigun, as you can see right over here, along with Beastars on the left side of the screen. And then I continue to basically explore more of the booths. And of course, there's a VTuber session at the VTuber alley to top it off. And then I explore the FGC booth. As you can see, some of the people are playing Street Fighter 6 on the two other sides of the screen, while these two dudes over here were playing Tekken 8. And of course, they're having some Uma Musume session, as you can see right here, even though the screen is completely white. So throughout most of the day one, I was mostly exploring almost the entire area of Animangaki. So that's pretty much how the floor plan for this year's Animangaki looks like, where they have the cosplay alley at the upper floor, which is the upper mezzanine floor, and then they have the main stage, the artist alley, the VTuber alley, and whatnot at the lower exhibition hall. Now then, let's talk about the concert for day one, which is ChouCho. And I think I'll let the footage that I took right after the concert speak for itself. So I know this is at least a little weird, but I think it's best that I let my thoughts that happened exactly happen after the concert speak for itself. So
now, before we jump right into day 2 of Animangaki, there are some things that I need to get off my chest. First of all, a huge shout out to the AMG team who came up with the idea of going into the concert hall 2 lines at a time, because here's what happened 2 years ago. A little bit of context. 2 years ago, when JKT48 came into Malaysia and they were performing at Animangaki back in 2023, I did attend to their concert simply just out of curiosity. The concert itself, it was great. But the problem was what happened before the concert, where when people trying to enter into the concert, it was a total nightmare. There was no queue, there was no coordination. People were literally trying to push each other into the concert hall, which is very bad. So I'm kind of glad that this team at AMG, they took notice of this situation and they were like, you know what, let's make it more coordinate, where only 2 lines at a time will enter the concert hall. So I'm kind of glad that they decided to come up with this idea, and so that no human gets harmed in any shape or form. And of course, as to how every Animangaki concert works, when there's a main performance, there's always going to be an opening performer. She engages with including the theme song for. I was like, and the fact that she's amazing opening, which is ChouCho. Now, on opening performance. Now, on to the main event, which is ChouCho's performance. So, she starts things off with performing Yasashisa no Review, which is Hyoka OP. And a little bit of context here. Hyoka is one of my favorite anime of all time. And the fact that she starts things off by performing Yasashisa no Ryu, which is one of my favorite anime openings, I was like, I'm done. My ears have been blessed and my soul has ascended to the heavens. And then after that, she performed a total of 8 songs, including the Hyoka opening theme, including the theme song for Girls on Panzer, the Majo no Tabi Dabi, correct me if I'm wrong. And then she also performed the theme songs for Fate Ilya as well. And I will say this, I was so mesmerized by her beauty and her singing voice. My eyes were literally locked onto her throughout the entire performance. And one thing I really like about her performance is that she engages with the audience as much as possible. Like whenever she does this hand clap, she's really signaling everyone to give the hand clap like this. And then when she forms the arm raise like this, right, she's really signaling the audience to do like this. And then she will try, there's going to be moments where she will try to get close to the audience as much as possible. She will go from the middle and then to the side, one side of the end, and then she will slowly walk to the other end and then come back to the middle. So I really like that aspect about her performance. Therefore, I will say this, ChouCho's performance is arguably one of the best performances in my entire time attending Animangaki. But here is the unfortunate part. Based on my experience of attending Animangaki ever since 2012, normally at the end of every single performance, right, normally they will ask for an encore. But unfortunately, for ChouCho's case, there was no encore. And here's another unfortunate part. Normally, right after the end of the performance, we will have a group photo with the artist will have a group photo with the audience. But unfortunately, in ChouCho's case, there was no group photo at all. And the reason was uh, there was some time constraint, which for some reason. And the worst part is that in order to, and another thing is that in order for us to have the more literally requested that no photos, no video, and no form of recording whatsoever throughout the entire performance.
So yeah, it's kind of weird that ChouCho not only didn't give the entire audience not only an encore, but there was no group photo as well, which I find it a little bit odd, to be very freaking honest. Because here's the thing: during Aya Hirano's performance, which I will get right into once we jump into day 3 later on. During Aya Hirano's performance, she really gave us an encore. She literally took photos with us, a group photo, and I would arguably say that right after Aya Hirano's performance, the experience is way better than day 1. I'll be very freaking honest. It's way better. Which is why it's kind of unfortunate that during ChouCho's performance, her performance is good. I would say this: her performance is legit good, but it's kind of a bummer that we don't get an encore, and we also don't get a group photo, which is kind of unfortunate. Which is why during this, and I'm not gonna touch on Bradio's concert, because I didn't attend Bradio's concert at all. Because my impression of Bradio is simply because they are the dudes that perform the opening thing for Death Parade, but that's pretty much it. If Bradio have something way more on their rap sheet, then I might consider jumping right into I might consider checking out their concert. But unfortunately, at that moment of time, right, the only thing that I could think of when Bradio comes into mind is flyers from Death Parade. That's pretty much it. Which is why I didn't really bother checking out their performance. I won't be surprised if their concert is good. And as a matter of fact, here's another thing that I noticed while I was checking out Bradio's official YouTube. Apparently, they were streaming the concert, which I find it to be shocking, to be very freaking honest. If you guys don't believe me, do yourself a favor and go to Bradio's official YouTube channel, go to the live tab, and you will notice that their performance at Animangaki was streamed from start to end. And I was shocked because, from what I understand, right, no other Japanese artists, they don't do that. The only one that does that such thing are Bradio, as far as I know. Anyway, back to ChouCho's performance. Her performance, like I said, is really good. I'm amazed. But it's unfortunate that she didn't give us an encore and she didn't give us a group photo. Now, on to day 2. So day 2 happened, and as you can see, I think I'll just forward it a little bit more. Look at the amount of people inside the freaking building. Granted, I recorded this sometime around between 9:30 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. But look at the amount of people queuing up inside the damn building. This is the ticketing counter, by the way. This is how long the queue is. Look at the amount of people. This is day 2, by the way. Compared to day 1 to day 2, this is literally 5 times the amount of people going into the damn freaking building. Like, what the hell? And this is the amount of people that's inside day 2. But like I said, this was filmed or this was recorded sometime. I think this was recorded around between after 10 a.m. ish, but yeah, as you can see, I'm looking around the entire area once again, and then around 11:45 a.m. on day 2, as you can see, these are the members of radio or on the stage, and yeah, as you can see, they are having a Q&A session for a good 30 minutes before they have this a small group photo session to wrap things up. And then a few hours later, a VTuber who goes by the name Lucius Merryweather, they have a special guest appearance for him as well, which is basically another Q&A session where people want to get to know more about this VTuber. And from what I understand, like, this VTuber right over here is also a mangaka, a writer from what I understand. And he also has a freaking YouTube channel. Hold on, let me look for this YouTube channel. And apparently he also has a YouTube channel which has like about 552 subscribers. And so we jump right into day 3, and as you can see, you have looked at the amount of people queuing up for day 3 before entering the damn freaking building. Like, holy mother of G. This is arguably way much more people compared to day 2. And yes, that I was checking out some of the booths, the FTC booth where they're playing Street Fighter. And yeah, this is where the Tekken tournament is going on at the insert point booth. Now that I've covered how the floor plan at Animangaki 2025 looks like, let's jump right into the main topic, which is mostly the main reason you guys are watching this video, which is Aya Hirano-san. Now let's start things off by talking about how the meet and greet session works. So as you can see on the screen right over here, Studio Orange, ChouCho, Bradio, KLT48 and Lucius Merryweather, and of course Aya Hirano, each of these guests have their own meet and greet session. But I will only talk about specifically Aya Hirano's meet and greet session. So apparently for Aya Hirano's meet and greet session, it can only be done by online lottery or online drawing only. And how does the online drawing works is, you have to go to this form right over here, which is on the link, or you can just use the QR code to scan you can just scan the QR code. It will pop up a form where you are required to fill up your full name, or should I say your name based on your identification card, your phone number, or should I say your WhatsApp number, and then your email address. Lastly, but this one is completely optional, which is the Super Gaki code, if I'm not mistaken. Now, I did not purchase the Super Gaki pack, but still what I did is, I literally waited at exactly 17 August around 6 p.m. I really waited, and I did refresh quite a number of times so that the form drops. And once the form drops, I immediately fill out whatever particulars that the form requires, and that's pretty much it. And all I leave it is up to fate, because to me, even though I went in the earliest, which is around 6:05 to 6:10 ish, does not mean I'm guaranteed to get the meet and greet session, because this meet and greet session is 1000% completely random. Fortunately, about 2 days later, which is on the 19th, Animangaki's official email, they sent me an email where I got accepted into the Aya Hirano's meet and greet section. Unfortunately, I can't reveal that I can't really review the email due to personal reasons, but at the very least I could do is I could just show you how the email. I'll just show you a wee bit of how the email looks like. So this is how the email looks like. Congratulations, you have been selected to join us for the exclusive Aya Hirano Concert session. Here they review the particulars, what you must bring, the confirmation email, a valid photo ID, which is your identification card, an official merchandise, or an Animangaki booklet, which I will talk about later on, and then you have to wear a wristband ticket for day 2 or valid event tag. So that's how the email looks like. And then I believe on day 2, I went there I arrived at the venue around 10-11 o'clock ish, because I have literally no I do not have any Aya Hirano merchandise whatsoever, so I was really hoping that the Animangaki official booth, they sell any merchandise of some kind. But unfortunately, they told me that they would not sell any Aya Hirano merchandise until day 3. And I was like, wait, what? Are you serious? Are you trying to tell me that the only way for me to get Aya Hirano's autograph is through this booklet right here? To me, it doesn't feel right. Because here's the thing. For the past few meet and greet sessions that I have attended, they at the very least they give something like a photo card or some kind before you jump right into the meet and greet session, whether it's paid or whether it's provided. So I was really worried that the only way to get Aya Hirano-san's signature is onto that event booklet. Fortunately, few minutes before the meet and greet session, which takes place at the guest room, which is right outside of the main stage, the staff told us that good news, if you do not bring your official album or any Aya Hirano-san related merchandise of some kind, we will provide a photo card, which I will show you guys later on, to each and every single people who got accepted into the meet and greet session. I was like, oh, thank goodness. It's not just me. There were quite a few other people who were showing signs of relief, because even they also, because some of them doesn't bring in any Aya Hirano merchandise or some sort as well. But to be very freaking honest, right, I kind of wish that inside that email, they will let us know that if you do not have any Aya Hirano merchandise, we will provide a photo card, just like how they did it with ChouCho's meet and greet session, where you have to purchase a photo card on a first come first served basis in order to be accepted into her meet and greet session. So similar situation, but it works a little bit differently, where it's completely lottery based, completely lucky draw. They will provide a photo card during the meet and greet session. So I was like, thank goodness that they provided a photo card of some kind, otherwise I'll be legit upset. So by the time the meet and greet session begins, a few minutes before the meet and greet session begins, what they did is they have a paper which contains a name list, where they have to verify, okay, this person is eligible to enter into the guest room to have a meet and greet session with Aya Hirano-san, where you are required to reveal the confirmation email, which I showed you guys earlier on, and you have to show them your identification card to ensure that the name on their name list and the name on the identification card is 100% the same. Otherwise, you are denied access into the meet and greet session. That was what I was informed. So fortunately, on my end, everything went smooth on my end, where they checked my identification card, the email that I got. They were like, okay, you're good to go. So, and here's another thing that I highlighted is that the way that they arrange the queue is in alphabetical order, which means from A to Z. That's how they arrange the queue, which is from A to Z. So I was literally the third person to enter into the meet and greet session. And so once it's my turn, the first thing that I ask Aya Hirano-san is what's her impression on Malaysia so far. And apparently she said that she just arrived Malaysia because from what I understand, right, apparently the day before she had to attend an event at Tokyo based on her Twitter, which is why she arrived on day 2 itself instead. And she never had the opportunity to check out Malaysia, even though it's her second time coming over here. But she will use her. I believe she spent like 3 days over there, which is on day 2, day 3, and I believe on a Monday, where she spent most of the time exploring bits of the area based on her Twitter. So I had a little bit of a conversation with her, and in case you're wondering how her photo card looks like, my name for the sake of for privacy reasons, but in case you're wondering, this is how her photo card looks like. And another thing that I do want to highlight is that she not only allow photo cards to be signed, but apparently not only she allows her album and her photo card to be signed as well, apparently she allows a figurine that's based on her character that she voices to be signed as well. And I was like, what the heck? She doesn't mind signing figurines based on the character that she voices as well? That is freaking insane. Because throughout my experience of attending every single meet session so far, they will only allow photo cards or the shikishi board, which you can see, even though it's a bit blurred out, but there's a shikishi board right over here. They only allow these two items, either one of these two items, to be signed. But for Aya Hirano-san's case, she allows either the photo card, which I showed you guys earlier on, any of her albums, any of her official photo book, and a figurine that is based on the character that she voices. And I was like, holy moly, that's freaking insane. And I gotta say that she's probably one of the most, she's pretty flexible when it comes to signing autographs on certain stuff, but as long as it's related to her. Because apparently this is what I found out from a friend of mine who lives in Malacca. Apparently she doesn't allow trading cards to be signed, even though it's the character that she voices. She doesn't allow cards to be signed, or any of the light novels, from what I understand. But still, it's really amazing the fact that she not only allows any of her official albums and her photo books to be signed as well. A figurine that is based on the voice, on the character that she voices, she doesn't mind signing those as well. That's freaking insane. And that's pretty much how the meet and greet session is. The next part I'm gonna talk about is how day 3 is in general, where she had a Q&A / interview session at day. Unfortunately, I could not provide any footages or some sort because they do not allow any photo or any recording or some sort, be it video recording or audio recording, during her Q&A / interview session and during her concert. Fortunately, on her official Twitter, she posted some pictures of her during the event, So this was during the Q&A interview session, which was happened on day 3. And yes, as you notice, she is literally wearing a yukata during the Q&A session, just like how Kana Ueda-san, who came over to Comic Fiesta back in 2019, during her session as well, she also wear a yukata. So I'm kinda amazed over the fact that she's wearing a yukata. And I believe this was taken during day 2, where she was exploring the exhibition's booth. And then after the interview session and before the concert, I believe she was roaming around outside of the mall, where she was taking pictures of the mall, as you can see right over here. And then comes the concert, where she was performing a total of 8 songs, excluding the encore, because the encore is basically one of the 8 songs that she performed early on. So the songs that she performed, 5 of them are literally from the Suzumiya Haruhi anime, which are Super Driver, Boken Desho Desho, God Knows, and another 2 more is Lost My Music, and I forgot what's the last Suzumiya Haruhi song. I kind of forgot. And then she also performed 3 other songs as well, which I believe are Riot Girl, Speed Star, and Unnamed World, if I'm not mistaken. So during her concert session, she also recited some lines during the concert. She started reciting lines as Konata Izumi from Lucky Star at first, and then the next line she recited is from Suzumiya Haruhi, where she recited this exact line.
東中出身鈴宮春日、ただの人間には興味ありません。この中に宇宙人、未来人、異世界人、超能力者がいたら私のところに来なさい。以上。
Yep, this is the exact same line that she recited during the concert. This line was during the very first episode of Suzumiya Haruhi no Yutsu, by the way. And then right after that, she also recited the one line as Lucy Hatfilia.
開け砲兵級の扉アクエリアス
Yep, that line, she recited that line as well. Here's another thing that I really need to highlight. During one of the songs that she performed, right, apparently she walked down to the stage and she literally gave every single person at the front row, including myself, because I was at the front row on the right hand side, which you can't see right over here on this screen, but I was at the front row. She literally gave every single person at the front row a high five, and I was like, holy crap, that's freaking insane. And to this day, right, every time I look at my right hand, I literally have flashes of her giving me the high five, man. I'll be very freaking honest. But overall, Aya Hirano's performance is amazing. It's freaking insane. And I gotta say, throughout the entire performance, she was energetic as heck. Like, sheesh. She was energetic as heck. And I can tell you guys that she's definitely one of those people where she gives the people what they freaking want. And that includes an encore, because by the time she finishes performing all 8 songs, the entire crowd literally scream for an encore, but in Japanese words, which really translates to mo ikai, which roughly translates to one more time, one more song. And because of that, Hirano-san decided to come up stage one more freaking time and perform God Knows one more time as her encore song. And then after that, we had a somewhat of a group photo session. And here's the nice part. she already had a group photo session during the Q&A interview session, and then she decided to have another photo session again right after the concert ends, which is really nice of her. So a really big thank you to Hirano-san for being one of the very few artists that's giving the people what they freaking want. And speaking of gratitude, right, a huge shout out to every single Animangaki staff over there, be it the MCs, which are the GG Twins, the stage crew, the volunteers, every single one of you. And also let's review the sponsors as well. If not for the sponsors, they won't be able to bring in artists such as the likes of ChouCho, Bradio, and Aya Hirano-san, and probably the VTuber Lucius Merryweather as well. Let's just be freaking real. If it wasn't for these sponsors, and if it wasn't for the Animangaki team, we probably won't be able to get to witness these artists coming over to Malaysia. So a huge shout out to every single Animangaki staff over there, and thank you very freaking much for bringing in ChouCho, Bradio, and Aya Hirano-san to Malaysia. And with that wraps up my impression and thoughts on Animangaki 2025. And I will say this year's Animangaki is definitely one for the books. And another thing is that I'm genuinely curious how the dudes at Animangaki, Rakugai Events to top it off, I'm just genuinely curious how in the blue hell are they gonna top this one off, because let's just be real, they can top off ChouCho, Radio can be top off, but Aya Hirano-san though, because it's not easy trying to top off Aya Hirano-san, man, because she's not only a singer but she's also a voice actress as well. So it's not easy trying to get an artist that's about the same level or higher as Aya Hirano-san. Let's just be freaking real. The only few other artists that I could think of who are both a voice actor and a singer as well, there are two names that I could think of. But don't put your hopes high when I mention these two names, but these are the two names that I could think of that are about the same level as Aya Hirano-san, or maybe higher. And those two names are Miyano Mamoru-san and Amamiya Sora-san. But then again, these are the two names that I could think of, but I don't know whether the Animangaki staff are capable of bringing either one of these two names, because like I said, it's not easy trying to top off Aya Hirano-san, man. But still, regardless, once again, a huge shout out to the team at Animangaki. And with that, wraps up my thoughts on Animangaki 2025. Thank you guys for watching. If you guys like this up, appreciate a thumbs up and a comment down below. And I'm gonna be real, if Animangaki brings in another voice actress or voice actor next year that piques my interest at the very least, I am 1000% in. And also, here's another thing. I swear to God, Animangaki, if you have the audacity to bring in one of the greatest voice actors of all time, who happens to be one of my favorite voice actor of all time, who happens to be Sugita Tomokazu-san, I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose my goddamn freaking mind. I'm gonna be really all. But still, regardless, once again, thank you guys for watching. Appreciate the thumbs up and comment down below. My name is AJ, and I hope to see you all not only at next year's Animangaki, and I hope to see you all in the next video.